Okay, now we're going to start with the perfection of patience. As I said, discipline is the foundation of patience, and patience is the third paramita, and it is another important of all the bodhisattva practice, because without patience, it would be difficult to practice the other paramitas and very difficult to practice action bodhicitta. So patience in Buddhism is a powerful practice. If we won't have patience, then we won't be able to practice all these paramitas, right? In Buddhism, patience is an act of compassion towards ourselves and others, right? And being patient is a way of trading ourselves with compassion. And compassion is the act of reaching out to those who are suffering, including ourselves. So we definitely suffer when we are impatient. So we can feel the stress in both our mind, our body, when we are impatient. Okay. Learning and teaching together, right? The Buddha said that not getting things our way is a cause of suffering and dissatisfaction in our lives. But it's inevitable that we will not always get our way, exactly what we want, right? So with patience, we don't get angry. We don't get, discouraged, frustrated. And patience gives us the strength to work to benefit both ourselves and others. We always encounter all sorts of harm from others, but with patience, it doesn't disturb us. Of course, people are going to sometimes let us down. People are going to hurt us. People don't do things in the way we want. Things are going to be difficult. Shantideva said, when things don't work out the way we want, don't be surprised, but be patient. It doesn't mean that we will no longer have any problems with others or ourselves, even though we are a patient person. But it doesn't disturb us all the time if we practice patience. Shantideva also said that the nature of every moment of our lives is samsara, and samsara is like a very hot fire. If you burn your hand in a fire, you can't get angry at the fire for being hot. If you don't want to burn your hand, what do you need to do? Get out of fire. This is exactly why we want to get out of samsara. That's why we should practice these paramatas, bodhicitta, and get out of samsara. Samsara is what? Samsara is our selfish mind, selfishness. That's what we call samsara. Get out. Get out of samsara means diminish, destroy the selfishness. Antidote, blessing you. Antidote, the best antidote, eliminate selfishness is bodhicitta and dzogchen, the nature mind. Okay? As I said, patience is an act of self-compassion, right? Patience, remember this, patience is an act of self-compassion. So pay attention to how it feels in your mind when you are encountering difficult situations. And then ask yourself, is there anything I can do, change the situation without making it worse for myself and others? If the answer is no, then you have to act of self-compassion in that situation. So it is extremely important to pay attention to patience in everyday life, especially someone whose mind is so much habituated with anger. Sometimes people don't realize how dangerous anger is and how important patience is. Anger will destroy our practice. Anger will destroy our relationships. Impatient people always frustrated, upset, unhappy with everything. Their mind is so, I say, blinded, does not really know what is going on in their mind and the result. So being patient means welcoming wholeheartedly whatever arises. When there is a patience, the mind becomes concentrated and free from external distraction. Okay, that's generally. Now, again, there are three types of patience. The first type of patience is to not become angry or upset with those who do harm you. Atisha said, do not get angry with those who harm you. If you get angry with them, then when will you cultivate patience? It's very difficult to practice patience when people make you angry. And Adisha also said that if people don't give you a difficult time, you would never be able to learn patience. It's very true, but it's difficult. And another a good method that Shantandewa suggests is if someone's given you a hard time, it is very helpful to view them as your teacher. If we are always losing our temper, then we will not be able to help others and not be able to help ourselves. According to the Buddhist teachings, those who are nasty treat you badly and actually harm you. When you are faced with that kind of situation, instead of getting angry, you should try to respond positively with love and kindness and compassion. But I think it is for advanced practitioners. You know, it's difficult for us to be patient when we are facing difficult situation. We need to prepare before get angry. Once we get angry, then nothing will work. It's just so strong, so powerful, right? So that's why before something you kind of see if something is going to happen, then you have to prepare. And that's the best time I think we can change. So that's the first. And now the second type of patient is to accept suffering. This is something that Shantandewa speaks a lot about, right? I'm sure you all know this. But Shantandewa says that if you have got a problem that can be solved, there is no point in getting angry, upset, or worried. Just to do what's needed to solve it. But if there is nothing that can be done about the situation, then why get angry? Because it doesn't help you at all. It's like if the weather is very, very cold and you have warm clothing, why complaining and get angry that it's cold? When you're cold, just put on some extra clothes, layers. If you don't have any warm clothes, then getting angry or upset is not going to make you warm. So every single day we are in samsara, we will encounter problems and frustrations. So in this situation, we get angry. So it helps me a lot. Basically, I really don't have a big problem with anger, but this Shantandewa, this instruction is really, many people say this really helps. So you should keep that in your mind. I think it can help you a lot to not get angry. As you know, there are many masters who developed their compassion and patience when they were in prison, you know, in jail. So good practitioners, suffering can allow us to develop more bodhicitta, compassion, patience. But maybe we're not there yet, but we should understand that we can do it. We should believe in ourselves, our capacity. If they can do, why we can't? I think that's good to know. Maybe these things very easy to talk about. When this happen, situation, it's difficult, right? I know that. But it's important to understand how it works, right? Then the third type of patient is to endure the hardships involved in studying and practicing the Dharma. Zuten in Tibetan, Zuten. That means we need to be patient with ourselves in this situation. It's going to take a tremendous amount of effort and diligence to reach enlightenment. That's why I just kind of already give up. As long as I have bodhicitta, enlightenment is very far away from me. So it's fine. Going there slowly, no rush. I believe all sentient beings and samsara is limitless. So when I have a capacity, there's no worry how to help, or there's always need help. So, but it takes. Did you read Malaripa's history? It's amazing. I cannot do that. Our practice is not going to get better and better all the time, okay? So we need to be patient with our practice. People don't have patience, then your meditation is not going well, then you just give up. That's wrong, I think. So the essence of the perfection of patience is, as Shantadewa advised us like this. He says, harmful beings are everywhere like space. So it is impossible to control all of those beings. But let this anger mind alone overcome, then all of those harmful beings are also subdued and controlled. So it's beautiful, right? And then Shantadewa gives a great example. You heard this for sure. He says, where would there be leather enough to cover the entire world? But the earth is covered over just with the leather of your shoes. To simply cover our own feet in leather rather than trying to cover the whole ground in leather. They use leather. I don't like that part. Now we can use plastic. Oh, that's not good either, right? What is the best? Huh? We have to protect our foot. So we have to practice patience within our minds. Remember how judgmental the monks at Nalanda were, criticizing Shantandeva's behavior, remember you? And making him look like a fool. But Shantandewa didn't get angry at all, and he ended up becoming so famous, and everybody respected him at the end. That's how bodhisattvas practice their patience. So this paramita represents the enlightened quality of patience, tolerance, and acceptance. So we have good examples of practitioners like Buddha Shakyamuni, like Longchenpa, like Milarepa, like Shantandewa, etc. Their journey was so difficult, but with their patience, they became enlightened beings. So we have a good example and we can try our best. So we have to be patient with our own journey all the way to enlightenment. That means we need to go through all these challenges, right? And difficulties with our negative emotions, obscurations, selfishness. So if we want to be a good practitioner, we have to be patient with our practice. It takes a long time to liberate ourselves. It depends your effort, your diligence. But like this, like right now, we're doing this kind of practice. It takes a long time. So the patient paramita is so that's the three different kinds of patient, right? So the patient paramita is also the foundation of next paramita, which is the diligence paramita. Okay? Without patience, it will be difficult to practice Dharma diligently. So now, the fourth paramita is the diligence. And diligence paramita is not about having a really hard-working attitude where you don't like your work, but still you have to do it. That is not what we call diligence and enthusiasm. That is, you're really excited about doing something and putting in a tremendous amount of energy, but then you burn out and give up. So practice diligence is not like that. So we're talking here about sustained effort and enthusiasm. The reason it's sustainable is because we enjoy what we're doing with understanding the benefits and all of the positive work we're engaging in. Diligence paramita is defined as a state of mind that energetically engages in constructive behavior and maintain effort in it. So that's the characteristic of diligent paramita. Here again, there are three kinds of diligence, right? The first is called armor-like diligence. This is being prepared to accept difficulties on the path and not be bothered by what you are faced with along the way. No matter how long it takes or difficult it gets, whatever happens, we're not going to get discouraged because of your patience and diligence. If you know the Dharma path will take a long time, then it's impossible to become discouraged by any problems that might come up. So you have an armor-like, in Tibetan, gocha, armor-like attitude that nothing whatsoever is going to stop you. I always, when I think about this armor-like diligence, meaning nothing nothing going to stop you, right? And I always remember this honey badger. Nothing can stop. They're just, wow, they're just so strong. So nothing bigger than them than honey badger or stronger than there or that, whatever. They're just fearless, right? So this kind of stable courage protect us from any difficulties we encounter. So Shantideva said that you should remember you have all the freedoms and advantages of human life, and now you have this opportunity to practice Dharma, no matter how difficult it is. Never give up, but be diligent. Okay, that's the summary. So I think we need stability based on self-confidence and an understanding of the basic potential within all of us. Then we will have self-confidence. If we have self-confidence, we will be stable in our effort, and we can put our heart into it. If we want to take advantage of this life, this precious life, then we have to be very diligent with our practice. And when we are a patient person with this kind of attitude and commitment, then nobody can stop us. So that is what is meant by the armor-like diligence, okay? Then second type of diligence is diligence in action. It means that you're not lazy about doing something. You are not lazy in studying, learning, and meditating. You are not wasting your precious human life with the intention of studying and practice the Dharma. So the teachers say that you should not wait even another second to practice, like what Milarepa did with his practice. And Shantideva gave the example that it is like when you have a poisonous snake in your lap, you immediately jump into action, right? This is dangerous. So Shantideva said we should act like this with the Dharma practice. That is what we call diligent in action. But that's also, you know, for us, I think this is impossible with a busy life. But I think it's just fine as long as we practice every day. That's why I told everybody, you know, just if you are very busy, then just practice 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, but don't stop. Do it every single day, because otherwise people, you know, today I'm very lazy, today I don't have energy, today I'm tired, I don't have time, but tomorrow. What about tomorrow? That's happen again. Then slowly you're going to lose your diligent practice. So very understandable if you don't have time, busy, whatever, but you can find 5 or 10 minutes a day, every day. So that habit is really good for you because then you do every single day, you know. So Kanjin Jigme Panzo give us a written transmission of kind of Dzogchen teaching, and he said you have to read this every single day from today until you die. If you promise that, you can stay. If you can't do it, go. Right? So I promise that it has like 30 pages. He said, if you're sick, no problem. you get sick, no problem. Otherwise, there's no excuse, you know. If you can't do it, you have to do twice tomorrow. That's fine. So that's why I think it's a good method he gave us, that because then we have to do every single day, you know. So that's like your practice. Don't stop your practice a day. If you get sick, that's totally different situation. But other than that, you can find 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day. Because that is a really good habit. Otherwise, you know, you become lazier, lazier, lazier. Then tomorrow is never end. So don't do that, I think. Now, the third type of diligence is diligence that cannot be stopped. It means you're not ever satisfied with just doing a few practice, right? It means you should promise to practice as long as you live, or until you have attained enlightenment. So basically here it means a strong effort involved in working to benefit and help others. So it's fine. You can say like, oh, I have 5 minutes today. That's not enough. But, you know, when I get more time, I will do, right? So that's okay. So this is not like, I think this kind of diligence is not for the worldly people, you know, people who have lots of time, and people go on a retreat year by like that. So this kind of people never stop practice until you reach enlightenment. But I think the second one is important, just practice every single day, little bit, even though you don't have time. So that's diligence practice. And if you have a strong motivation, pure motivation, combined with the diligent, then really you will achieve your goals. Diligence practice, Brahmada, helps us to overcome one of the greatest obstacle many of us face as we try to reach our goals, you know, laziness. So in general, attaining Buddhahood depends completely on our diligence, along with patience and discipline, these three, right? For example, like you know how to practice Bodhicitta. Is that enough? No. Then you have to practice. You have to diligently practice, right? Otherwise, there's no way to generate bodhicitta. So same thing, like if you recognize the nature of mind, that's the highest practice, but just the recognition that you have, not enough. You have to, otherwise you recognize the nature of mind, 1 second, gone, because we have all this habit, lots of thoughts, right, take place, and your nature of mind is gone. If you don't practice, then you look at it again, yeah, second, maybe 5 seconds, you see it, but then it's gone if you don't practice. But if you practice, then it stay longer, 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 longer. Eventually, there is no room for this selfish mind. That is what we call enlightenment. Okay? Now the fifth paramata is meditation, meditative concentration. Is that right? Something. something. Something means meditative concentration. To practice this parameter, we need, again, discipline, patience, diligence. Because usually our minds are all over the place. Even when we try to focus on meditation, we are constantly distracted by non-stop thoughts and emotions, especially when our minds are filled with anxiety, worries, and fears, and etc. So this is also important. Shantideva says that even if you do recitations and prayers for a long period of time, they will be meaningless if the mind is distracted. Tibetans do that a lot, They go for, the stupas and temples, circumambulation, then during that they have a mala and then say mantra, but they're not focused on at all. So that's exactly what Shantideva says. It says meaningless. As long you practice, as long as like you practice 2-3 hours, right? Your recitations and mantras, prayers like that. But if you're not focused, then meaningless. So we do that all the time in our meditation. Well, shamatha, all this meditation is maybe better, but especially when you practice like preliminaries, right? You're focused on like 100,000 times and then just to like repeat the mantras, prayers as quick as you can, and then you're thinking something else. So then it's meaningless. That's what Shantideva meant by here. That's why we need a mental calmness, mental stability. We need this parameter, right? Fifth parameter, the perfection of concentration. So concentration means holding the mind on the object without forgetting, without distracted what you're doing. So with concentration, we are able to stay perfectly focused on any object for as long as we want. The result of concentration is awareness, right? Which is free of concept, distraction. Awareness is an inner wisdom and relaxation that gives us the ability to see things more clearly. Our experience of meditation, our conduct, our behavior, our actions, everything with the awareness and relaxation and concentration gives us to see things more clearly. And with this kind of sharp mind, our energies become concentrated and calm and tamed, right? So if we have that kind of meditative concentration, then we have the perfect foundation. Shamatha will help nothing other than shamatha practice. It's a really good foundation for like refuge vow. Refuge vow is good foundation for all other vows. You cannot take other vows without refuge vow. That's similar, like shamatha practice is a good foundation for what kind of practice you want to do. You need a relaxed and calm mind. Shamatha can do that. Other than that, there's no benefit. So we need that kind of, foundation, that kind of a good foundation. And with concentration, we can create longer times of awareness and discipline so that we can bring our meditation into daily life, right? So these great practitioners, their mind is never distracted. So even they are doing something, still they are focused and they have this paramita, concentration. So we are very happy, no problem, when we are sit on our cushion and meditate, whatever, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, you are good. Then you leave off the cushion, then you go on into your job, whatever, in society, then we get angry, anxiety, all these things, because then we have two different lives. In Buddhist perspective, no matter what you do, you should try to observe your awareness and everything. So even like bring that practice into your daily life, then you have this perfect meditation, concentration. But we really can't do it because we don't have this perfect paramita. We can do only when we meditate, but then other times we don't have that. So that's why I think concentration, this paramita is also important, because kind of like this is part of the action, Bodhicitta. Now, so when there is no practice of meditation in our minds, then it's impossible to practice generosity, discipline, patience, and diligence fully. They cannot become perfections, because their essence of this inner awareness is lacking, all other paramitas, So therefore, concentration, the mental stability is important. So there are a few things you need to know. It's very difficult to meditate as long as our mind is under the control of desire and grasping. Even though we may be in a retreat and this kind of place and not seeking anything, but if our mind falls under the power of discursive thoughts and emotions, then genuine state of meditative concentration will not arise in our mind because our mind will be unable to rest. Therefore, we have to reduce distracting thoughts for developing concentration. So now here again, there are three kinds of meditative concentration. The first is preliminary concentration, okay? In order to get to know our minds as it is, we first need to practice shamatha meditation. And through this meditation, we will be able to develop a good concentration, okay? Then second is clear concentration. In this meditation, we relax the body, speech, and mind, and we are developing one-pointed concentration. and remain free from thoughts and don't follow them when they arise. That's the second clear concentration. Then the third is excellent concentration. It is a realization of the ultimate awareness of the clarity and qualities of the mind itself, right? At this time, both the body and mind are effortlessly workable. You are probably the end of the seven bhumi. So we are at that time free from all the delusions of desire, anger, jealousy, etc. So, but you know, it's yeah, it's again, it's long journey. And the present state of our life, we are distracted so much. You probably have this experience, right? As soon as we try to calm our mind and focus on concentration, a lot of thoughts rush into the mind and disturb you. So therefore, we need this paramita practice. And the essence of the perfection of meditation is concentration. And concentration is, again, holding the mind and making sure that we are free from distractions. So therefore, we have to focus on the quality of meditation, okay? As a beginner practitioner, it's hard, that's fine. Just do whatever you need. But advanced student practitioners, we need to focus on the quality. Whenever you meditate, doesn't matter how long, the quality is so important. So like for beginners, it's okay, like 100,000 times, like the mantras, sometimes you distracted and sometimes you say the mantras, it's okay. But after that, advanced practitioners, the number is not important. Even 5 minutes meditation, you have to focus on the quality. Otherwise, you are never ever, you know, be able to develop this kind of concentration, you know. So be an authentic, genuine practitioner is so important if you really want to grow and reach enlightenment. Let me see. That time. So, for example, we get together here. We have all these offerings, right, with different kinds of, you know, teachings and visualizations, recitations, and all this practice, right? If our minds are distracted or not focused on these practices and thinking about something else, right? I can see our body here doesn't mean our mind is here, right? So then we are together here, practice together, this so profound, vast Chandadeva's teachings We're here together, but that doesn't mean we are really focused on it. We're thinking something else. Who knows? That is not good quality, right? That's exactly what Shantadewa says in this chapter. It doesn't really work if our mind is disturbed and having a lot of thoughts. That's why I always say, correct your motivation, then your mind is here. You're focusing. These three supreme methods bring your both body and mind is here at the same place. That's why three supreme methods also is a method, good method. So that brings, your mind into this body. So in the beginning of spiritual practice, it is important to know the mind is most important thing to work with, right? And the best way to work with mind is through discipline, concentration, and wisdom. And when we develop concentration, we will diminish all these negative emotions influenced by ignorance, so that our wisdom will grow. And discovering wisdom requires relating with our mind by having discipline and concentration. Therefore, the perfection of meditation is also the foundation of next paramita, which is the wisdom paramita, okay? I will talk about it next section. So now we're going to recite the second chapter